Assalamu alaikum. I begin by thanking Almighty Allah who has given us this opportunity to strengthen bond of sisterhood through our today's talk titled War and Women Finding Lasting Solutions. As we all know, right to the time of conception to delivery of the child and on to life itself, there is a silent war being waged on women by our patriarchal society. To tell us more about it, we have one speaker of the day, Madam Rahmathunissa, who is no less than a blessing for aspiring girls in today's time. She is the National Secretary of Jamaat-e-Islami Hind and is the spirit behind the Aura magazine, which encourages young girls to pick up their pen and express their thoughts. Over to Rahmathunissa, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the Almighty's peace and blessings be upon all of us. Distinguished guests, each one of you is a distinguished guest today. I know all of you have taken the pains, in spite of being a working day, to come here to listen to the talk. And I'm really honored by your presence, each one of you. And the topic, as has been introduced by Uzma Nahid Sahiba, Uzma Ausaf Sahiba, the topic we have selected today is War on Women, Finding Lasting Solutions. This talk is a kind of a series. Every month we will be having this kind of a talk from Marcus. For those who understand English better, for those listeners. And definitely it will be published in our YouTube channel also. So I'm just starting with it, and maybe next time one of you, or next time another one of you. So like that we have to continue with this series with a relevant topic, whichever is useful for our society. So let us begin in the name of the Almighty. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salam ala Rasulil Ameen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Tomorrow is our Independence Day. So we have attained independence in the year 1947 with great promises, big dreams for everyone in the country, for all citizens, irrespective of their caste, creed, whether they are men or women, children, girls, boys, for everyone. Our forefathers had great dreams, and they sacrificed greatly their lives, their wealth, everything for the nation building, to get freedom for our nation. During the year 2002, exactly speaking, on January 25th of 2002, on the eve of the Republic Day celebration, the then President of the nation, K.R. Narayan, he was describing the pathetic condition of the women in the country, and he said that, I'm quoting his words, "No place is safe for them, not even their mothers' wombs. They are put to death even before they are born." The experience of Draupadi, he continues, these are his exact words. The experience of Draupadi in the court of Kauravas has become symbolic of the ill treatment of women in our country. You all know the story of Draupadi in the court of Kauravas. What happened? Undressing her, removing her sari, pulling her sari, and Krishna came to save her. After 21 years of his statement, if we analyze on the eve of our Independence Day, the condition of women in our country, are we better now or worse? Definitely we are worse. That is what the data, the reports, the news headlines tell us. Krishnas are there everywhere. Or rather, those who pretend themselves to be Krishnas and Ramas or Ram Bhakts or Krishna Bhakts. And those who pretend themselves to be saviors of our culture and our dignity and our society. But the problem is continuing. Only claims are there. But women are put to real torture right from birth till the last breath. People are least bothered. They are either silent, or if they open their mouth, they add fuel to the fire. They instigate people to do atrocities on women. We know what happened in Manipur. We can't forget that picture of the video of the women undressed and the ill treatment. I was not able to watch the video fully. I couldn't. I tried so many times, but I couldn't complete watching it. And it made me, it kept me awake even during the midnights. And I was thinking what is happening to the youth of our country. Now, the recent report has come from National Crimes Records Bureau. It says that from 2019 to 2021, as many as 13.13 lakhs women and girls are reported missing. Nobody knows where they went. They are missing. How many? 13.13 lakhs in our country. And reporting this, the NCRB says that it's a regular occurrence for any police organization to deal with a report of a missing person. So persons would have gone missing to avoid abuse or violence. Why they have gone missing? Then NCRB says that it could be due to the fear of or to avoid violence and abuse. A percentage of the total number of people who go missing will have been the victims of serious crime. And when we analyze the National Crimes Records Bureau report, we should also bear in mind that these are all reported incidents. As you all know, in our country, getting a complaint registered for a woman itself, approaching the police department, approaching the courts for the downtrodden communities and societies, how accessible it is, you all know. It's very difficult. They have to go from pillar to post to fulfill the formalities. They have to pour money like water. Because of the corrupted system, it's very difficult. So, considering this fact, the number of 13.13 lakhs girls missing within 2 years, the real figure might be even double or triple than what is being reported. The highlights of the plights of women in India, every day we are getting. Recently, last week, in Delhi itself, Delhi, it is the capital state of our country, Rajasthani it is. And right under the nose of the central government and Supreme Court, the report by the Delhi Commission for Women, their helpline is there, and they recorded within 1 year, in the year 2022, within 1 year they record over 38,000 complaints of domestic violence, over 5,800 complaints of rape and sexual harassment. And the helpline, it also received cases, many such cases, under POCSO with 3,647 POCSO, you all know. It is an abuse to children, girl children. And there are complaints of 4,229 cases of kidnapping and 3,558 cases of cyber crimes. 1,552 missing, 2,278 calls of dowry harassment, 790 of medical negligence, 156 of sex racket, 40 of trafficking, 63 of illegal liquor and drugs, and many more. So these are the details of just one state, and that too where things would be in a better position and within 1 year. So every day reports are coming and they have lost the news value. It's no more a shocking news that a girl is raped and buried, or she's cut into pieces, or she's being burned alive. It doesn't have any news value now. We have heard Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao slogan repeatedly from our Prime Minister. Regarding this project, the Member of Parliament, who was the chairperson of that committee, she has tabled the report revealing the poor performance of this project. And they commented that it was 80% of the fund was utilized for publicity, advertisements of the project, and only 20%. And out of that 20% also, how much benefit our girls and women got, we can imagine. So this is a situation. If we go on and on, I can talk about the plight of women in India, the situation. We all know that. But the main focus of my talk today is to analyze the second part of the caption, that is finding lasting solutions. We cannot arrive at a solution unless and until we know the real reasons, the root causes. If the diagnosis is not proper, the treatment also will not be proper. So the diagnosis should be proper. So let us analyze why this kind of a situation is there. Why women are not treated as equal creations of the Almighty, or as equal citizens in any society, especially in India. And it is because of not analyzing or understanding the root causes that many people come up with many solutions. And they vanish in there, and at practical level, they prove to be failures. It's like, putting on lipsticks without brushing your teeth. If you put on lipstick without brushing your teeth, what will happen? Inside it will be smelling. You won't be able to open your mouth. People will run away from you. Maybe you look beautiful outward, but inside you will be stinking. So this is how many of the slogans and solutions and advocacies come and people talk about. So let us analyze one by one. What is the real reason, the real cause of this kind of a situation? Number one, out of the whole world, there are many data which tell that the maximum number of illiterates are in India. And out of that, the majority are women. So in India, we have millions of women, millions and millions of women who are illiterates. Forget about their education. And our constitution talks about compulsory and free education for everyone under 14. People are not bothered about that. They talk about those aspects which are actually no problems. Wherever they can divide people, wherever they can create hatred among people, that is where they talk about. And they talk about mutalaq, they talk about civil code, but real problems go unaddressed. So this is one of the problems. So maximum number of illiterates. So education, why our girls and women, why our girls are not getting education? It is not because they don't want to get educated. It is because they don't have access to education. In the villages, you go to the slum areas in Delhi itself, how many proper education institutions are there? How many schools are there where there is proper facilities? And one thing is, institutions are very far from their houses, nearby places. Number two, there are no proper facilities just because of lack of toilet facilities. Many girls, there are a number of girls dropping out of schools once they start menstruation because they don't have proper toilet facility and they don't have the privacy, and the educational institutions are not at all female friendly, girls friendly. So because of that, they drop out. So education is the first and primary step to build confidence, muster courage, and make people stand on their feet and fight for their rights. But that is the first thing, the most basic thing that is lacking in our country even now. So in order to create confidence in our girls and women, we need to have more and more educational institutions, better facilities within the educational institutions, and girl-friendly atmosphere should be created. Maybe you will say that in spite of getting educated also, there are many cases of educated women getting molested. Even lawyers get molested. Media persons get molested, get abused. This online abuse, social media, if you see, it is more on educated women only. So you are talking about education as a solution. But education is the starting point. That doesn't mean that this is the end to all. Now comes the law enforcement system in our country. People talk about bringing more and more laws. Enough with the laws. We have enough laws in our country. The only problem is with the implementation. Since when do we have the anti-dowry law? 1962 onwards we have that rule here in our country. But at implementation level, demands are increasing and it is never decreasing. Dowry deaths are increasing. And many girls, just because they have no money, they are, going without marriage and they lead a life of, it is like life becomes like hell for them because of this. And the main problem with the law system here is the part of implementation, enforcement. Right from the accessibility to the difficult procedure. As I told you before, already our women are uneducated and they don't know all these terms and all these law, but the way they have to go from pillar to post, to get justice, it makes people withdraw themselves from the case at any stage. And many, do not dare even to go to the court and file a petition, go to the police station and file a petition. It has been said, rightly said, that a girl or a woman who gets raped once in her life, she gets raped 1,000 times in the court procedure. She has to relive the trauma many times. She has to undergo the trauma many times. So, in the law enforcement system, because of the corruption, because of the partiality, our legal system is so smart and so active sometimes in taking suo motu cases in the cases of certain people. But in the cases of certain other people, if they belong to a particular community or if they belong to a downtrodden community or caste or whatever it is, they delay the process. And finally, the girl or the family never get justice. So, this is another problem in our system. And another thing is adding fuel to the fire, as I told you before. Hate speeches and dog whistles. Hate speech, we all know what it is. Directly speaking against a particular selected group of people or community, which instigates the other group to hate them and maybe to even attack them physically or torture them, whatever it is. And there is something called the dog whistle also. The dog whistle is something like, it gives signal indirectly to the target audience, and they take it as a clue that we have to do this. For example, if you want to understand it better, one example is that of during UP election, Amit Shah said, the competition is between 80 versus 20. People can easily understand what it is. It is a hate speech. It's a dog whistle. So he wanted to convey the message to the Hindus that we are fighting against the Muslims. Muslims are our target. So, but legally they escape. This is called dog whistle. And it has been used as an effective tool by the authoritarians, and whether the attack is on the men or the women, at the end of the day, women are the ones who have to undergo the trauma and torture. Men are arrested. What happens? Women have to live a life which is equal to living in hell. She has to take care of the children if there are, and she has to fight legally for releasing him. She has to manage the economic condition of the family. And we usually, when a woman's husband dies, usually people, take care of her and she gets support, empathy from everywhere. But a woman whose husband gets arrested, her life is still worse than that of a woman who becomes a widow. So these are things, and these type of hate speeches and dog whistles legitimize and instigate the youth of our country to take their hatred on a particular community to their women. Gujarat minister said once, even if you have to take out from the graveyard the body of a Muslim woman, you have to do that and rape her, molest her. So this kind of hate speeches and dog whistles, and you all know, and these are affecting usually the downtrodden and backward communities, including Muslims and Dalits and Adivasis. See, in our country, rapes or this kind of cases are more, the victims are more from these kind of communities. Why? Because there is no one to talk for them. Nobody will ask and fight for them, and they are poor, and that will go, unnoticed. And the case of Bilkis Banu, what happened? After years and years of fight, finally the victims, the molesters, the criminals, they were released and they were put garlands. They were received like heroes. They were celebrated like heroes. So can you imagine the mindset of the society from this? So that's what I'm saying. So these kind of hate speeches and dog whistles, and the youth are being instigated or motivated to do these kind of acts as though they are the show of manhood or masculine capacity. This is your manhood and this is your masculine capacity. You have to subdue the women and teach that community a lesson. This is what they are teaching the youth of the country, and we need to understand that it will not remain there. That will have an impact on the entire nation, every community, every society. Those guys who are doing this to the woman of another community will not have respect on his own mother or his own sister. We have to understand that. So actually real manhood or real masculinity is not this. This is what the education that we have to give to our youth. And this is not culture. In the name of protecting culture and the samskar, some people are doing atrocities on women. And we have to tell them that. We have to tell them clearly that this is not samskar. This is not culture. If you call this samskar, if you call this culture, This is Stone Age practice, barbarism. This is not samskar. That's what we have to tell them. And you all know that the ruling party is utilizing this as a weapon to subdue and for the ethnic cleansing of the communities, especially Muslim community, whom they don't want to remain in the country. And they want to otherize them, and they are spreading hatred. So hatred has become a political advancement tool for the right wing. So it is our duty to make people, the general citizen, aware of this, their tactics, what they want to do, that we need to make them understand. Another root cause, see why people are not bothered. All these things are going on. Politicians are using it as a political tool, weapon. All these are going on. Still people are least bothered. Why? Because the Indian social atmosphere is like that. The Indian social atmosphere is like a ladder. One on top of the other, on top of the other. Everyone in the ladder thinks that there is someone below me, lower than me by birth, lower than me by caste. So I can do anything with him or with her. Nobody will ask me. It is, even religiously, I'm not going to be questioned by God. This is the belief system. So that social atmosphere, one feeling superior to the other, and the others feeling like this is my fate, kya karo, hamara, this is our fate, we belong to that, our duty is only to please our masters who are above us in our caste. So in the Indian society, even though the constitution says all are equal, the constitution talks about equality, and our politicians also, the rulers of the nation also talk about equality, equal rights. We should understand that all are equal, but some are more equal in our society, Indian society. So there is partiality. So because of that also the convicts go scot-free. We have seen it with with those wrestlers. Everything was, all evidences were there against the person who committed the crime, atrocities against those ladies. Still, he is free even now. That is the because of the social atmosphere of our country. And because of that, whenever such crimes happen towards women, looking at the woman, to which community or which caste she belongs to, which class she belongs to, we can expect reactions. We can expect responses. If the girl belongs to a higher caste, primetime TV debates, we can expect our politicians, shedding crocodile tears, we can see. But if it is from a Dalit, Adivasi or Muslim or any such community, you cannot expect them to do anything or talk for them or work for them. Even so many so-called rights activists, women's rights activists also speak in high volumes, react quickly when it happens with upper caste society women, but not when it happens with lower caste, the so-called, I don't consider them as lower caste, but the so branded and so-called lower and downtrodden societies and communities. This is another reason for the problems that our women face, the social atmosphere. Next comes the media. The media should work for the betterment of the society, to reform the society, to bring civilization in society, to work for justice in the society, equal rights for everyone. But unfortunately, regarding women, if you sit and watch 1 hour any of the TV channels or a cinema, some of the common most popular cinemas, or commercial ads also, and even the videos, even pornographic literature, social media videos, whatever it is, what is being celebrated? The body of the woman is celebrated. A woman means her body. The more you reveal, oppressed if you are dressed, The more undressed you are, the more free you are. You are liberated when you are liberated from your dress. If you cover more, that means you are subjected to age-old traditions and customs, and you have to be liberated from that. If you are to be accepted as civilized, if you have to get a job in any particular company, you have to look fair. Your size should be like this. Your height should be like this. Your weight should be like this. You have to use this product, that product to make yourself look fair and lovely. Isn't it? So, the body is being exposed and treated as a commodity in our media. So, censoring is something for something else. If somebody brings out a movie with a good purpose, good intention, that is where the censorship, the scissors go fast. But if somebody brings something to divide people, to spread hatred, there it is being ignored and given tick mark, and they are being promoted. Another problem, we said educated hona chahiye. Men and women should be educated. We said that law enforcement should be proper, media should be proper. But there is another problem also. See, now when we talk about the media, when I say that these kind of projecting women and their body also instigates people to do these kind of acts, usually people say, then why even a 2-year-old girl got raped? And even a 90-year-old grandmother got raped. Is it because of her dress? The answer is, you instigate this kind of feelings, thoughts in their minds, and they cannot go and do the act. They cannot go and rape the lady, the film star who is coming in that. She is not accessible. But who is accessible? Who is easily available? Apna ghar mein chote bachcha hai. Small baby in your own house, grandma in your own house, in the neighborhood, wherever it is available. And on top of it, if the person is, that is the next problem, drugs and liquor. People are, it is, free, legally it is available. And added to it is legal gambling. Gambling and drugs and liquor. That makes people lose their sense. And in that lack of sense, for them there is no difference between their wife or their mother or their sister or neighborhood, somebody's wife or somebody's sister. Every woman is the same. Only thing is they have to vent out their feeling or their sexual need. That's it. So, this is another reason. Another thing is, in our country, even tourism is used as an area where women are again utilized as, even human trafficking, sex tourism. There is something called sex tourism. Young girls in our country are made, readily available for people who come from abroad when they stay in 5-star hotels and they consider it as a job. Prostitution is illegal in our country. And it is considered as a job. So all these constitute to the atrocities or to the ill treatment of women, the attitude, the mindset towards women. And because of that, we are not able to uproot and put an end to this kind of activities that are going on against women. But all these should be there. Education should be there. The legal system should be pakka. The media should be. On top of all these, the main problem is with the belief system, which is there inside the mind of everyone. The belief that women are responsible for the original sin. The belief that women are not created equal as men. These kind of so many such beliefs and, superstitious beliefs are there, which make people have no guilt. There is no guilty in doing anything with any woman. So the first and foremost solution The lasting solution that I would like to suggest here is that you have to work on the belief system of the people, the faith in the Almighty, your Creator. You do anything in the world, you may escape from anyone in the world, but in the darkness of the darkest night also, if you do something, a slight act against anyone, you will be caught in the hereafter. His eyes are everywhere. And your Lord, your Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is just, the just, and no one will meet with any injustice in the hereafter. That is why we as Muslims believe we should have, along with our belief in Allah, we should also have strong faith in the hereafter. Hereafter, just belief nahi. We should have yaqeen. That is the word used. Strong faith should be there. Definitely, I will face my Lord. Definitely, I will meet with the consequences of my deeds in this world. Surah An-Nisa, that is the 4th chapter in the Quran. It talks about so many rights of women, and especially in the family and all. And that chapter begins with the verse, Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. I told you, the main belief, the people believe that women are not created equally as men. That is one reason why they do anything with women. But the Quran addressed this. The Quran talks about this. Allah says, fear your Lord who created you from the same khalaqakum min nafsin wahida, one nafs. So men and women are created from the same stuff by the same Allah, and He has given us this Creator has given us, the one who has given us life. He has given us a system of life which if we follow, there won't be any problem for not only women but also men, for everyone in the society. So these kind of religious educations which talk about justice, equal justice for women and men, this if we imprint in the minds of people, definitely changes will come. And that is what we saw in Medina. Within 23 years, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam transformed the society which was burying girls alive because they didn't know about this female infanticide and all that, amniocentesis test, and science was not that advanced, especially embryology and all. So once the child is born, they will know that it's a girl. Then Quran talks about this. وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ, when they are given the good news, bushira means good news. When they are given the good news of a girl's birth, their face becomes dark and they bury the child alive. So the Quran addressed this, and then it is in chapter number 81, verses 8 and 9. Allah says that Allah will be asking the girl who is buried alive in the hereafter, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Imagine, see, for any believer, the greatest hope and wish is to meet his Lord in the hereafter. But Allah will not even look at this person who buried his daughter alive. He will turn to the girl instead and ask her why you are buried alive. It's not that Allah wants an answer from the girl, but to give her justice. So this type of a belief system, if we develop, nowadays what happens is, any community, we can see that if there is any problem, people, maybe by misinterpretation of the text or the scripture or the practice, and also by understanding the culture as religious rule, when things happen in the wrong way, our young girls have a tendency to go against the religion. And actually, the solution is within the religion. The only thing is, you have to find it and you have to apply it and educate people in the right way. So, these religious scriptures, we need to educate people on these things, that you are answerable, not only the court here, you are answerable to your creator also. Education, I said it is a solution. Lack of education is a reason. But that education should begin from our homes. Not just the education, the syllabus education. People are after completion of the syllabus and acquiring degrees. But what about the real tarbiyat, the real education, the character formation? If you have a son, all of you who are listening to me, I just want to tell you, if you have a son, educate your son to respect his sister. Educate the father. It is the father's responsibility to educate and give us some example, set an example for his son to respect his mother through his behavior to his wife. How the father behaves to his wife, the son is learning a lesson by seeing his father. So the education should begin from our homes. We need to teach our children what is real manhood and what is real masculinity. Real masculinity and manhood is in your presence. Any girl, any woman should feel protected, should feel that this man is approachable for any help of me. One example I will give you. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, Moses, his history is mentioned in the Bible also. Two girls, when he went to Madian, two girls, they wanted to get water, but men were assembled there. And these girls were not able to draw water for their cattle. Moses approached the girls, looking their problem, understanding their problem. He approached them in a very good manner. He helped them to get water. And the girls went and reported this to the father. And the father recognized that this is a man. This kind of man should be rewarded, and he rewarded him with one of his daughters in marriage. So this is the feeling that a woman should get in the presence of a man. And if a woman could get that feeling, that man we can call a real man. Not the man who molests or who rapes or ill-treats a woman and says that this is manhood. That is not manhood, or that is not manliness. And we have seen the example of Yusuf alayhi salam. He was very young. He had every opportunity. Malikin, she was the mistress of the court. She demanded, out of marriage, sexual relationship with him. He said that jail is better for me than this, because he was afraid of the Lord Almighty. And he mentioned that this is taqwa and sabr. Taqwa means, even if your Lord is not seeing you, you understand that He is watching me and I am answerable to Him, and you do everything. Even you are left alone in one room alone and the woman is in front of you, you will be afraid of Allah and you will not do it. And you will be rewarded. There are many instances. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, once one man came and asked him, he wants to have extramarital relationship with he wants to have sex with a woman who is not his wife. Prophet asked him, do you have mother at home? He said, yes. Will you like someone doing the same thing with your mother? He asked, do you have a sister? Yes. Would you like someone doing the same with your sister? So like this, he made the man realize that somebody else's daughter also, somebody else's wife also, somebody else's mother also, you have to treat like your own mother, your own sister, your own, sister, daughter. So this kind of tarbiyat, we call it, this kind of education, if we are able to give to our youth along with the fear in their Lord, definitely changes will come in our society. So moral values, we call it, that is a life system which is inclusive of moral values. They are very, very essential, and we all say prevention is better than cure in the case of medical treatment, right? Health. The same is applicable to the health of the society. So mingling, too much mingling, being left alone, all these instructions are given by religions for this purpose only, because prevention is better than cure. So I think I'm taking too much of this your time. So I think it's time for me to conclude. We need to actually channelize the energy and the strength of our youth. India is a country blessed with a real good number of youth power. That power we have to channelize in a very constructive way, in a positive way, supporting each other. And we need to work for bringing love, creating love and understanding between communities, between genders, so that we can work together for the betterment of our nation. So this is a message I want to give on the eve of this Independence Day. And let's hope and work, let's all work together to propagate this. And if our rulers, if the people who are ruling the country, if they are channelizing or derooting our youth for these kind of destructive acts, as the citizens of the country, we the people, it is our responsibility to show them the way out. We need to show them the way out if they are doing like that. And as long as the constitution is there in the country, as long our country is a country which gives respect to religious values, let us propagate that so that peace will prevail and everyone can work together peacefully in the country. Happy Independence Day. May the Almighty bless the nation, bless all of us, every citizen in the country. Thank you very much.
A very enlightening talk, ma'am. May Allah help us and strengthen us. I invite Dr. Hafsa for a vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum to one and all. I, Dr. Hafsa Tasneem, on behalf of Jamaat-e-Islami Hind, Ladies Wing, extend my sincere and heartfelt thanks to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this successful event. Without Allah's help or nusrat, it is impossible to arrange this event. I would like to thank to Honorable Mrs. Rahmathunissa Sahiba and Mrs. Shaista Rafat Sahiba, National Secretaries, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to our speaker, Mrs. Rahmathunissa Sahiba, for her explanation. Your thoughts and ideas have shown us a new path. As we listened an inspiring exchange of knowledge, ideas, reflections on the topic War on Women, Finding Lasting Solutions. A special vote of thanks goes to our committee member, especially Sister Uzma Usaf, for her efforts. May Allah accept her efforts. Jazakillahu khair. Our gratitude would be incomplete without acknowledging our participants. I would like to thank you, each one of you, personally. By your presence, our program is successful, alhamdulillah. Your active participation have contributed to success for this event. Your thirst of knowledge is what propels us to organizing such programs in future, inshallah. As we conclude this program, let us carry forward the lessons we have learned today, we have listened today, applying them to our lives and striving to be better and beneficial individual for the community as well as for the humanity. Once again, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for gracing this program with your presence. May Allah bless each one of us and guide us on right path. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين جزاكم الله خيرا.